I always thought trust was unbreakable, at least in my marriage. Catherine and I had built a life together over the past 8 years. We had our share of ups and downs, but we always found our way back to each other. At least, that's what I believed. Lately, things had been different. Catherine had grown distant. The woman who once greeted me with a warm kiss when I got home now barely looked up from her phone. Her laughter, once so full of life, now seemed forced whenever we were together. And those late nights at work or with friends, I tried to ignore the nagging doubt creeping into my mind, but deep down, I knew something was wrong. Still, I never imagined it would come to this. That night was supposed to be like any other. I was working late at the office when my boss called. "Jason, you can head home early. We'll finish the reports in the morning." I remember smiling, thinking how happy Catherine would be to see me. Maybe I'd pick up her favorite bottle of wine on the way home. Maybe we'd talk, really talk, like we used to. I never expected to walk into a nightmare. Pulling up to the house, I noticed something odd right away. A sleek black sedan parked in the driveway. It wasn't ours, and I had never seen it before. My stomach tightened. My first thought was that maybe a friend had stopped by. But then, as I stepped onto the porch, I noticed the front door wasn't fully closed. A chill ran through me. Catherine always locked the door. Always. I pushed it open gently, stepping inside. The house was dark except for the faint glow coming from the bedroom. And then I heard it. Low voices, a quiet laugh, followed by something else. A moan. My blood turned to ice. I moved toward the bedroom, each step slow, deliberate, like I was walking through a bad dream. My heart pounded so hard I could hear it in my ears. Through the crack in the door, I saw them. Catherine, my wife, and some half-naked stranger tangled in our sheets. Our bed. For a moment, the world stopped. My vision blurred, my breath caught in my throat. I wanted to unsee it, to convince myself this wasn't real. But it was. A blind rage surged through me. Before I even realized what I was doing, I shoved the door open so hard it slammed against the wall. Catherine screamed. The man jolted upright, scrambling to cover himself with the blanket. Catherine's eyes locked onto mine, her face frozen in horror. "Jason, She didn't finish. She couldn't. Because there was nothing she could say that would ever make this right. For a moment, the only sound in the room was the erratic beating of my heart. My hands clenched into fists at my sides as I stood there, my breath coming in ragged gasps. Catherine clutched the sheets to her chest, her body trembling. The man beside her, some stranger with broad shoulders and a cocky smirk that quickly vanished, moved to grab his clothes. "Jason, Catherine stammered, her voice barely a whisper. I cut her off, my voice shaking with fury. "Don't! Just don't!" I turned my gaze to the man, my entire body burning with rage. "Get the hell out of my house!" He hesitated, lifting his hands as if trying to defuse the situation. "Look, man, I didn't know she was married." I let out a bitter, humorless laugh. "You sure as hell do now." The guy scrambled out of bed, pulling his pants on so fast he nearly tripped. He grabbed his shirt and shoes and bolted out of the room without another word. The moment he was gone, I turned back to Catherine. The weight of what had just happened crashed down on me all at once. My wife, my partner, the woman I built a life with, she had done this to us, to me. "Tell me, Catherine." My voice was dangerously low. "Was it just him? Or have there been others?" She sucked in a sharp breath, her eyes glassy with tears. But I didn't want her tears. I wanted the truth. "I never wanted to hurt you," she whispered, her voice breaking. I scoffed, shaking my head. That's a lie. If you didn't want to hurt me, you wouldn't have done this in our bed. She swallowed hard, gripping the sheets like they could shield her from what she had done. I was lonely, Jason. You're always working, always exhausted. I felt forgotten. I stared at her, stunned. Forgotten? My voice cracked with disbelief. So your solution was to screw some random guy while I was out busting my ass for us. Tears streamed down her face now, but they meant nothing to me. Not anymore. I was lost, she admitted, her voice barely audible. I made a mistake. A mistake. That's what she called it. Something inside me snapped. You don't accidentally end up naked with another man, Catherine. My voice was cold. You made a choice. She sobbed, reaching out toward me, but I stepped back. The distance between us had never felt so vast. The silence between us was deafening. Catherine sat on the bed, looking so small, so fragile, but I refused to feel sorry for her. I turned away, running a hand down my face, trying to think.